wasn't Derrick Henry, it was going to be somebody else. T. Higgins, first game back, not bad, 39 yards. It was good to see him getting a bit of targets there. Could have had a touchdown there in the fourth quarter, but got overthrown a little bit by Joey B, but still, I didn't have crazy expectations for him, so pretty solid first game back. Next up, Xavier Worthy with 5. He hasn't been able to reproduce what he did in that first game that they had, but so I may need to think about sliding him down to the bench, but I haven't decided yet. Next up, Chris Godwin was 17.3. He's been doing great this year. He's gotten one touchdown in every game. They did kind of get destroyed in this game, but still ends up with 17. Next up, we got Laporta with 6.1. I think he sprained his ankle. Okay, well, at least it's not a high ankle sprain. Those can really take some time. But yeah, it really hasn't been as great as he was last year. Last year he was the number 1 PPR tight end, and right now he's at number 18. So hopefully, once he gets through this injury, he can get back on track a little bit. Next up, we got Singletary with 18.8. 16 carries for 65 yards and a touchdown, and then also 4 catches for 43 yards. And man, the New York Giants offense, they look pretty decent, man. They look good. Neighbors he's so good. He's so good. Like, he's been balling out. But man, yeah, they're in a pretty good spot now. Kind of a quick turnaround for that team, but nice win here at Cleveland. Next up, we got Najee Harris with 13.6. Not bad. I'll take that. I'm loving the volume so far. He's getting, right around 20 carries every game. This was the most targets that he's gotten so far. So I'm not gonna expect that that'll continue, but to see the rushing attempts as high as they've been, that's great. And to get 13 points without a touchdown yet. Oh, whoops. Yeah, he doesn't have a touchdown yet this season, so but he's still doing really well. Oh, I did not realize that I actually benched Dallas Goedert. Oh my god. I have him in a couple different leagues. It's kind of hard. It was hard to start him over Laporta, but I'll definitely be starting him now. Man, 10 catches for $170. That is crazy. 29.5 points. Deontay Johnson had a great game too. Hey, who knows? The Panthers might be back with Andy Dalton. 8 catches, 122 yards, and a touchdown. By far his best game there in Carolina. So I might have some tough decisions coming up. I think So we are sitting at 3-0 right now. Let me know down below how y'all's teams are doing. But yeah, 3-0. How many points for do we have? 419. Hey. Glassen's got a really good team, man. 430 points. Actually, like, everyone in Division 2 has a good team. Division 1 is kinda struggling a little bit. Collect and play 0-3. Oh no. Oh no. Only 325 points. That's no bueno. Alright, that's funny. So yeah, hopefully we can pick up a dub next week. Okay, so week 3 started out with the Jets getting a win over the Patriots. That was a good game. It wasn't a good... I say it was a good game. It wasn't a good game, but it was a good game for Aaron Rodgers. It was really fun to watch because he was playing like the old Aaron Rodgers. He like seemed mobile, and I did not expect that at all. He was rolling out. He ran it a few times, and man, he was looking good. So, man, if he can keep that up, the Jets are going to be a dangerous team. But yeah, big win there for the Jets against the Patriots at home. Next up, we got the Ravens at my Dallas Cowboys. And this was... Dude, I'm so over the Cowboys. I really am. Like, I don't even know what to say. This wasn't a 3-point game. That's like a joke of a score. And honestly, the fact that we could have won that if it weren't for a CeeDee Lamb fumble is kind of ridiculous. Yeah, I mean, our defense has been pretty horrendous. Like, the Ravens just ran it all over us. Our defensive line just got mauled. We couldn't get stops. Our offense, and especially Dak Prescott, per usual, they are very good when the game is out of hand, and when the stats don't count, and it really doesn't matter, because the game's already over. They play great. I don't get it, man. Like on the offensive side of the ball, we have so much talent. But I don't know. Maybe we don't. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's the thing. Maybe we don't. I don't know, man. I know they'll get it together eventually, but to start out 0-2 at home. Our only win is against the Browns. Like, I don't know. As a Cowboys fan, I'm not doing the same thing that, I've done like every year. I'm not gonna get my hopes up till they show me something, and I'm gonna let them show me who they are. And right now they are 1-2 and 0-2 at home. So yeah, that score is like fraudulent completely. But yeah, big win for the Ravens though. That was a dominant performance. I apologize if there's any Ravens fans out there. I just had to vent for a sec, but that was exactly what I expected from the Ravens when they signed Derrick Henry in the offseason. I expected a run-heavy, dominant team, and look at that, 25 carries for 151 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Ravens team is going to be tough when they can run all over teams like that. Next up, we got the Giants at the Browns. Giants with a nice nice win there, 21-15. Malik Neighbors with 2 touchdown catches. Daniel Jones, pretty solid game, man. That Giants team is, I don't know yet, it's a little early, but I'm keeping an eye on them for sure. They could be very, very good. And the Browns, I can't really figure out just yet. But they finally got Amari Cooper involved, which is good. But they're just in a tough spot. Losing the Chubb last year, like he was such a beast, man. It changes everything. Next up, we got the Packers with a win over the Titans. Malik Willis with another dub, and he's been playing well. Great game for him in this one. Sorry about the dogs. Pretty dominant performance though, 30-14. And I don't know. I wonder if they just bench Levis because he has not been good. I mean, the stats say otherwise here, but like 14 points on the board isn't gonna do it. Next up, we got the Bears at the Colts. Colts with a big game, obviously, from Jonathan Taylor. Rome had a big game. Caleb Williams with 363 and 2 touchdowns. I stand behind my Caleb Williams slander. I do. But this was a good game from him. But they end up losing 16-21. That's a big one for the Colts to kind of get things back on track. And next up we got the Texans at the Vikings. This has to be like the surprise of the week. Surprise of the week. Well, maybe not. There's a couple surprising games this week, but this one top 2 for sure. Maybe top 1. But the Vikings beating the Texans 34-7. Crazy. Sam Darnold had 4 touchdown passes. And Aaron Jones has been great. He's been really good. But to beat the Texans like that is crazy. I don't know what it is, man. Like, Sam Darnold has been playing really good. I don't know if it was just like Carolina seems to be a place where in the last, I guess, 10 years since Cam Newton left, it seems like that's the place where quarterback careers just go to die, honestly. Like they just, whatever it is, they don't have it. So, I don't know if it's, him just getting out of there and having, better players around him, or just better scheme, better fit. I don't know, but he's been balling out. And if I'm the Vikings, if he keeps playing like this, like you have to offer him an extension, and then just J.J. McCarthy can wait or trade him or whatever. But he's been playing really, really well. So yeah, tough loss for the Texans there, but they'll be alright. They got a great squad. Next up, we got the Eagles at the Saints. Another big game from Saquon. 17 carries for 147 and 2 touchdowns. A big win over the Saints, who, man, they were off to like a historic start. Offensively, their defense always plays great, especially at home. But offensively, they were really clicking until this game. $1.50. That's tough. Two fourth quarter tutties from Saquon and the Eagles get the dub. Next up, we got the Chargers at the Steelers. The Steelers are now 3-0 behind Justin Fields, who that's got to be his best game so far. I apologize for the dog. That's really annoying. But yeah, great game from Justin Fields. I still, to this day, I believe it was a mistake for the Bears to move on from him. I think he's really talented. If I were the Bears, I would have 100% traded that first overall pick for. They could have gotten an absolute haul. And I don't see Caleb Williams being that much better than Justin Fields, if at all. I like Fields a lot. I hope he gets a chance to start the rest of the year. And plus, I don't have like we saw Russ last year. I don't know what the deal is, but it wasn't great. And I would love to see Fields get a chance to keep it going, especially starting out 3-0. Next up, we got the Broncos at the Bucs. This is wild. Broncos with a 26-7 win over the Buccaneers on the road too. That's some great defense from the Broncos to hold the Bucs to 7 points. Because the Bucs they've been playing really well to start the beginning of the year. Baker was playing great. They're only able to get 7 on the board. And the Broncos win this one 26-7. Nice win for Denver. Panthers at the Raiders. I don't know, man. What do y'all think? Is Bryce Young the problem? Andy Dalton comes in and throws 3 touchdowns. I don't know, man. I don't know. That's a tough one. It's one game. It's one game, but I don't know. To be honest, I was not very high on Bryce Young when he came out. He got drafted by the Panthers. I just they gave up a lot to get him, and I didn't think he was like that caliber of player. But at the same time, he really hasn't gotten a really fair chance either. They threw him right into the fire with that terrible team last year, and then they've been struggling this year, and I don't know, hard to say. Maybe it's a combination of him not being very good and being a rookie, and then just a bad team and bad coaching and bad ownership and bad everything, pretty much. But they win this one 36-22. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye on them. If they win again next week and Andy has a big game, we might have some tough questions. Next up, Dolphins with a big loss to the Seahawks. Seahawks are looking great. Geno Smith, another very solid game. Charbonnet playing really well in place of Kenneth Walker, who should be back this week, I think. But big game from Charbonnet. DK, another solid game, 4 catches for 100 and a touchdown. And they are 3-0 now. I remember checking the score after the first quarter and saw it was 17. I think it was 17-0 at the time. next up we have another shocker. 49ers losing to the Rams. Really good game from Brock Purdy and especially Jawan Jennings. 11 catches for 175 and 3 touchdowns. Kyren Williams had a great game, 2 rushing touchdowns and 1 receiving touchdown. But clutch performance from Matthew Stafford both of these teams are dealing with just a crazy amount of injuries. So I don't know where they're gonna end up just because of all the injuries. Because now you got McCaffrey heading to Germany to see a specialist about his Achilles. So I don't know. I didn't think it was that serious of an injury. Kyle Shanahan, he always does that with injuries. He's very, very, very vague. Never goes into detail. So, I don't know. Who knows? I mean, like, McCaffrey could just come back for the last couple games. Like, I have no idea when he's coming back, but he's a huge, huge piece in that offense. Now they do have Jordan Mason, but McCaffrey's a different animal. And then, not only that, but they also had Debo out. They had Kittle out as well. The Rams got Puka out. They got Cooper Kupp out. I mean, yeah, that's what a couple injuries can do, man. But Rams pull out a big win here. And yeah, that was a big one for them to not start 0-3. That was massive. Next up, we got the Lions with a big win, 20-13 at the Cardinals. Solid game from Kyler. I can't remember. I think Marvin Harrison Jr. had a touchdown catch, but I'm not 100% sure. David Montgomery with a big game. You know, I thought they were going to transition a bit more to away from Montgomery, but I guess he's still getting the bulk of the carries. Okay. They do still have Gibbs, right? Yeah. Gibbs. Okay. So he still had 16 for 83. Okay, that's a great, like, two-headed rushing attack, though, to have both of them. But yeah, big win for the Lions there. Next up, you got the Chiefs at the Falcons. Falcons with a tough loss there to the Chiefs, and what do you know? Another extremely controversial non-call that would have gone in the Falcons' favor against the Chiefs. What looked to be pretty clear pass interference in the end zone in like the last minute and a half, maybe 1 minute of the game. I don't know, man. Look, if it was just like here and there, the Chiefs were getting a call, or the other teams weren't getting calls, and you know, that stuff happens, but it's such a pattern at this point where it makes you really, really question, like, why calls always seem to go, or seem to favor the Chiefs, especially at the end of the game. I don't know, it happens a lot, like, an abnormal amount. So, I don't know, pretty lame the way it ended, but, what can you do? Anyway, Chiefs start 3-0. Still a great team, you know, not to take anything away from them, but it is just frustrating to see how often that happens. Anyway, next up we got the Jaguars getting absolutely just eviscerated on national television. 47-10. Bills with a monster game. They look good, man. Bills look defense hasn't been great either. But yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what to say. It's pretty bad. And then we got the last Monday night game, Commanders at the Bengals, and the Commanders get a big win on the road, 38-3 against the Bengals. And this was one of the best games I've watched in a while. Like, just the most entertaining I've watched in a while. Like, gosh, it was, because the Bengals, like, they didn't even play bad. Like, they had a great game, like, a really great game, and it was such a hard-fought game between the two of them. It sucks that one team had to lose, but the Bengals had a great game. The Commanders pretty much had a perfect game, honestly. Like, it was near perfect football, and I am worried about the Commanders in the future. I think Jaden Daniels was the quarterback of that draft. I really think so. Like, he looks so good. 21 for 23 with 2 touchdowns. And then on top of that, he didn't have a great game on the ground, but he can really run the ball. And man, he was dropping that thing in buckets in this game. Like, it was impressive. And I mean, then you got Joe Burrow over here with 324 and 3 touchdowns and losing. That's crazy. But yeah, this was, I think, the first game ever with no punts and no turnovers, which, I mean, that's insane. That's like a different level. Like that's what I'm saying. Like, that was a near perfect game of football, offensively speaking. The defensive coordinators probably aren't too happy with that performance, but offensively, absolute great game. One of the most entertaining games I've watched probably ever. So yeah, I mean, Jaden Daniels, he's fun to watch, and he is really good, man. He's super talented. So yeah, bright future there, unfortunately, as a Cowboys fan, but good for them that they finally got their guy, it would seem. So anyway, that is going to wrap it up for this one. I feel like I've rambled on for a very long time today, but there were a lot of good and interesting games this past week. So anyway, that'll do it for this one. Let me know how y'all's fantasy team